Hi, and these comments are for one of my students in my online TOEFL course. I am Michael from OTC, onlinetoeflcourse.com, and you are doing integrated speaking practice today. And I actually have the rubrics here, and let's take a look at your email. Say, hello, Michael. Thank you so much for your feedback. I hope you're feeling better. Yes, I'm 100% better. Much, much better than I have been compared to last week. So thank you. Say, please listen to evaluate, score, and provide feedback on my integrated speaking task 11, which is the most difficult speaking task for me because I cannot catch every, every word in the lecture. Notice how every uses a singular count noun after it. And then after practice test 11, I'd put a comma there, get rid of which is, and just say speaking practice test 11, the most difficult integrated task for me. So you're using the comma. This is what we call a non-restrictive element, because once you say speaking practice test 11, whatever comes after that is not essential. It's additional information. And with non-essential clauses and phrases, we typically separate those with commas. And that's the reason I would put a comma right there. You say, please take extra care. I wish you a happy Christmas. And thank you. And the same thing goes to you. I hope that you have a happy, happy Christmas 2020 and have a merry New Year 2021. Whatever the goals are you've set academically, professionally, socially, I hope that you can make all of these things happen. The new year is a great time to start new. And guess what? We got a vaccine. We have Pfizer. We have Moderna. We even have another pharmaceutical company that's coming out with a vaccine. So it looks like 2021 will give the world an opportunity to get vaccinated against the deadly coronavirus. And hopefully we can put an end to this pandemic once and for all. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and listen to your practice test.
In the lecture, the professor explains the formation of glacier, which happens in polar regions or high mountains because those areas do not get hot enough in summer to melt snow. First, glaciers begin to form by accumulation of enough snow to form ice in each year. Then the snow forms into multiple layers, and the new layers compress the previous layers, which cause snow to recrystallize to form grains. Gradually, the grains grow larger, which cause snow slowly to compact and increase in density. After about 2 winters, the snow turns into fan and becomes dense constantly. One time passes, larger ice
When you talk about the fern, an intermediate state between ice or water and ice or something, just make sure you give a definition of that.
crystals become compressed and grow into several inches. In most glaciers, this process takes over 100 years. Finally, the weight of glaciers becomes so heavy and begins to move down due to the force of gravity. In the
Okay, so I wrote the lecture. I know what the lecture is, right? And as far as I can tell, you indeed covered all the angles. You answered all of the important points I think that you needed to talk about with the lecture. Your delivery is what's killing your score right now. Your medial final consonant sounds, your overall enunciation and pronunciation. Enunciation is kind of how you're forming the sounds in your vocal tract. And you're not using the tongue, the mouth, the lips, the airflow. You're not getting all of that right now. You're having a lot of problems with your enunciating. So how you enunciate affects your overall pronunciation and whether it's easy or difficult to understand you, and it does take a lot of effort. So I think it's delivery. Delivery is the key. The good news is if you want to book TOEFL private lessons, I just finished teaching at Cal State University and also at Valley College. It's an investment, I know. It's not cheap, but I would love to work with you maybe 3 or 4 hours a day for the next week. And if I can work with you 3 or 4 hours a day, we can work on all of the pronunciation areas you're having trouble with. We can practice face to face. I can even record each lesson so you can download it and have it on your own computer. So I really would love to help you with delivery. I know it's not cheap, but really consider that. And think about this. If you think the cost of an education is high, try ignorance. Think about that. It means that people that don't know or don't have an education, they actually make a lot less money than those people that do have educations in many cases. Okay, so I'm going to put your score between 2.5 and 3. I'm going to say 18 to 19 points because of delivery issues. Now, I'm going to listen to your response one more time, and I might revise my estimation.
Glacier, the professor explains the formation of glacier, which happens in polar regions or high mountains because those areas do not get hot enough in summer to melt snow.
They do not get hot enough in the summer. You want to say to melt all the snow. I was having trouble understanding that idea. To melt all the snow. So the snow accumulates.
First, glaciers begin to form by accumulation of enough snow to form ice in each year. Then the snow forms into multiple layers, and the new layers compress the previous layers,
Yes.
which cause snow to recrystallize to form grains.
Which cause the snow to recrystallize to form grains.
Gradually, the grains grow larger, which cause snow slowly to compact and increase in density. After about 2 winters, the snow turns into fan and becomes dense constantly. One time pass, larger ice crystals become compressed and grow into several inches. In
And they grow to several inches. Is that what you're saying there?
most glaciers, this process takes over 100 years.
You might say for most. I think maybe you said it already. Let me listen to it.
Larger ice crystals become compressed and grow into several inches. In most glaciers, this process takes over 100 years.
Okay.
Finally, the weight of glaciers becomes so heavy and begins to move down due to the force of gravity.
So the weight of the glacier becomes so heavy, it causes itself to move downhill due to the forces of gravity. So you might say it's something like that. So yeah, I think delivery is the issue, right? That's where you need to work on. I'm going to say maybe 18 to 19 points out of 30. So enunciation. You have to teach your mouth, your lips, your tongue, your vocal cavity inside the mouth. You have to teach your vocal tract how to form the consonants and the vowels of American English. That's one of the things you have to get used to. Now, the good thing is we know from research if you really spend a lot of time talking to native speakers, it really does help with your pronunciation. So that's another step in the right direction for you, is to continue to find opportunities so you can speak English as much as you can. When you're speaking to native speakers in many situations, they're going to say things like, "What was that? I didn't hear that. What did you just say?" And then you're going to modify. You're going to change how you said it so they can understand what you're saying. It's that kind of interaction that helps you to gradually speak more naturally and more intelligibly. So really focus on putting yourself in situations where you will continue to get the feedback that you need to help improve your pronunciation.